Welcome to the video on converting decimals to fractions. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to say that you can convert decimals to fractions by writing the decimal as it's read. So let's go ahead and start by let's start by reviewing decimal place value. So you have your ones place, and then the decimal comes after the ones place. Then we have the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths. So to convert a decimal to a fraction, you write it as it's read. Okay? So if there is a number to the left of the decimal, keep that number as the whole number. Okay? And we're going to talk about what all of this means. So if you need to, go ahead and pause the video to fill in these blanks. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and go forward to the examples. Okay, so let's look at this first number, 0.33. We read that as 3 tenths because it only goes to the tenths place. So I'm just going to write 3 over 10. Okay? Now let's look at the next one. The next one goes again to the tenths place, and I read it as 5 tenths. So I'm going to go ahead and write 5 over 10. And then because both of those can be divided by 5, I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So my answer is 1/2. Let's take a look at the next one. 0.7 is read as 7 tenths. So I'm going to write 7 over 10. Again, if you need to, go ahead and pause the video. All right, let's take a look at the next one. The next one goes to the hundredths place, and we read this one as 37 hundredths. So we write it as 37 over 100, and we're done. The next one, we read it as 56 hundredths. So we write 56 over 100. And then we can divide both of these by 2. If you're not sure what exactly they are, we know that it can be divided by 2 because they're both even. So we can go ahead, divide by 2, goes in 2 times 2 is 4, subtract, so that would be 28. And then 100 divided by 2 would be 50. Again, these are both even, so we can divide by 2 again. And again, if you don't know what 28 divided by 2 is, we would just need to divide that out. So that would be 14 over 25. And that is in simplest form because they have no other common factors. The next one can be read as 79 hundredths. So again, we just write 79 over 100. Again, if you need to, pause the video here. The next one goes out to the thousandths place. So we're going to write it as 376 thousandths. This can be simplified, but we're not going to worry about that one right now. This one can be read as 562 thousandths, so we write it over 1,000. And then since there's a spot here to simplify, we'll go ahead and simplify that. We'll just divide by 2 for now. Alright, so it would be 281 over over 500, and it'd be 500 because we're dividing by 2. Alright, and then we can take a look at the next one. It'd be 794 thousandths. And again, we can simplify that because it is an even number, but we're not going to worry about simplifying that one right now. Alright, now let's take a look at this one. Here we have 1 and 3 tenths. So this one right here, this is our whole number. All right, so we have to keep that. We keep that out in front as our whole number. And then this here is read as 3 tenths. So we would write it 3 over 10. All right, the next one, there's our whole number. Our whole number is 4. And then this goes out to the hundredths place. So it's 8 hundredths. All right, so we have 4. Okay. Now, the greatest common factor between the two of these numbers is 4, but if you didn't know that, you could divide by 2, and then divide by 2 again. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. and 100 divided by 4 is 25. So our answer is 4 and 2/25. The next one here is our whole number. It is 3, so it stays out in front. And then it's 750 thousandths. And again, that is one that can be simplified, but just for the purpose of this video, converting a decimal to a fraction, we're going to go ahead and stop right there. If you need to, pause the video here. All right, let's take a look at a few more. All right, so the 21 is our whole number, so we're going to keep 21 out in front, and then we read this again as 3/10. So we write that part as 3/10. The next one, our whole number is 13, and then we have 25 hundredths. So we write 25 over 100, and then when we simplify, we do keep the 13 out in front, and then we can say 25 divided by 25 and 100 divided by 25. So 25 divided by 25 is 1. 100 divided by 25 is 4. So the answer to this one is 13 1/4. And now let's take a look at the last one. We have 25 and 137 thousandths. So we write 25 and then 137 over 1,000. All right, what I'm going to do. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video here if you need to. Otherwise, I'm going to go on to some practice problems for you on the next page. Okay, what I want you to do here is pause the video. I want you to practice some of these, and then when you're ready, go ahead and unpause this video and move on to the answers. This is not something that I'm going to check, but I do expect you to come to class tomorrow ready to practice these, or ready to go. So go ahead and pause the video now. All right, and here are your answers. Some of them you may have gotten something a little bit different, like number 1, you may have gotten 1 and 52 over 100, which is perfect. Same thing with 1 and 19 hundredths. So any of them that have the number out in front, your answer will vary just a little bit. Go ahead and pause the video here if you would like to check your work. Otherwise, I will see you in class.